Stacy Crowder from Splash Fabric. I'm coming to you now, and I wanted to say welcome to summer because we have a picnic blanket situation, something that also turns into a bag. It is amazing. So you can cinch it up like this. You can have your pie and your salad and bring it all down with you to the beach or the park or the backyard. This month, we're introducing another new fabric. Now, this fabric is near and dear to my heart. I drew all these images after I went for a walk with my son and his girlfriend in Golden Gate Park, and that's in San Francisco. And these were all the flowers that were blooming in November. We went there for Thanksgiving, and in Seattle, we don't have any flowers in November. And so it was really a delight to be in California and be enjoying all these flowers. So these are flowers that I drew, and they have now turned into this fabulous fabric. I love this kind of periwinkle blue color. I just indulged myself and put all my favorite colors in here. So I hope that you really enjoy this fabric, and I'm really excited to bring it to you. And this is the first project that we've made with it. I think it's going to be really fun for you to make. Have fun sewing. Okay, so you have 2 yards of fabric, and the first thing you're going to want to do is get 1 square yard of both of these fabrics. And so I have measured, I put the selvage together, folding it in half so the raw edge is out this way. And so the fold is here and the fold is there. And so I'm going to make a square that is 18 inches and 18 inches, all the way across square. And I'm going to do that for both of these fabrics. And then I'm going to put them together and make a circle. And so just watch. I have to get all my supplies, which I don't have with me. But anyway, 18 by 18. I'm going to put this on there. So that's square, and this is square. And those are my lines. And so I'm just going to chop it off. Now I have 2 squares, basically 2 36-inch squares. And so I'm going to lay one on top of the other and scribe a circle. And I'm going to show you how to do it without a measuring tape. Because the visual way is always easier, I think, than trying to do something with the numbers. But right now, we know we have a 36-inch square, so all we have to do is scribe a line that follows an arc, just like in middle school when you did geometry class or whenever that was. And we're going to scribe an arc so that it draws a circle from this point around to that point. Okay, I tried to use this chalk on my fabric, but it's Taylor's chalk, and I guess it only works, it doesn't work on the laminated side. Huh! Okay, so I'm going to get serious. I'm going to use a Sharpie. This is going to be a one and done kind of deal. So what we do is we pivot from this point, and we draw. There we go, I can see that. Okay. Now, we want to make sure that the point stays right at the point. So I'm clipping it really close to that point. And, it's just a picnic blanket. It's not the end of the world if it's not exactly square. But we want it pretty round, okay? So you just make a whole bunch of points from there to there. And this is how I cut tablecloths too. If you take a piece of our fabric and you want a 55-inch or 54-inch round tablecloth, you do the same method and you cut it into a square, 1.5 yards, and then you scribe this same system to find your circle. There's my circle. It's a beautiful circle. And I'm going to put one more point down here. And now all you have to do is cut it. And I like to actually cut it with scissors. I don't know how you would do it with a rotary cutter, but here we go. So you just, and I like to do them together at this point, you know, both fabrics at once, just because then the circles are the same as each other. I don't know. And then I only have to do it once, right? There we go. So I don't know what you're going to do with that. Make a little coin purse or a card holder or something. So let's see how I did. You can't see this very well because you're not high enough in my room. I could get a scaffold. Maybe I can adjust the camera. Anyway, it's pretty good. Whew! There we go. That looks like a nice little picnic area to me. We have some really pretty good circles. Now, see how this, you can see a little bit of this peeking out, and we can just trim that after we sew, or before we sew, I don't know. Anyway, here we go. So we'll put that aside for a second. So after you've made your circle and we put it aside, there is a 36-inch piece, two 36-inch pieces. And I have folded them in half, so it's 18 inches this way. I just cut the selvage straight off here. And now we have, we're gonna make our straps. So the straps are going around this bag like this. These are the straps. And you need 120 inches to go all the way around the bag. And or the picnic blanket, however you call it. So, and then you need to build these little loops. These loops are really fun, and we're going to sandwich them in between the two layers of the outside of the circle, and just top stitch. And we don't have to bind this edge because, as you know, it's not going to fray, and it just makes it so much easier on a project of this size. I need 120 inches of strap, and I'm going to use this. And the reason I'm doing it on this side, I could do it this way and it would be a lot fewer cuts and joints, but I'm going to leave enough left over. I can make some bowl covers, maybe one, maybe two. So I think that's kind of a cute idea to go with this picnic blanket concept. And so let's see. The way I'm going to do that is I'll just line it up and cut it 3 inches. So there'll be 3-inch strips. And all we have to do, now I don't want to cut into this. That would make me cry to cut right into the middle. So let's see. I have it clipped here because then it doesn't wiggle around, which is good because I didn't press down hard enough. Anyway, I'm just gonna do this and get this. So that's 2 of each. Now for the loops, I'm gonna do the loops in the gingham and the strip around the outside, the strap around the outside in the butterfly garden. So I need 120 of this and I need 48 of this. So I need 3 and I need 6 of those. See if I could do it in one go. What do you think? Yes! Okay. Let's see, 2, 4. And now Let's do one more. This we have left over, and then I need 2 more of those. Like that. Okay. 2, 4, 6, that's 120, and that's 50. Okay, and then we have these pieces left, and first we're going to do our strapping. So I'm going to attach these all together and fold them in thirds, and I'm going to take you over to my sewing machine because I'm just going to do it there. And you guys can do your fancy, you're welcome to do the angles. I'm not going to bother with that because I'm going to do it quick and dirty, because you can treat it like binding and do your binding thing. And what I'm going to do is just sew them together with a small seam allowance, like 1/8 of an inch and maybe 1/4. And then I'm going to, when I fold them, I'm going to flip the seam allowances so they don't make too bulky of a bump right there. Oh, here's where I created a little pleat in the fabric. I have a little whoopsie there. So I'm going to come back to that and just stitch it down flat. Okay, I let the machine do the work. I'm just here to be the guide, telling it where I want it to sew. And so this one, woo, that's a long piece. Very satisfying. Okay. It's fun to make straps. It's kind of a new thing I've discovered. It's fun to make straps. I've always used the webbing, but I'm really kind of leaning into having this fabric be the strap. It can be the strap. Now they tell you not to do this, but what I do is if I pull it evenly, it's not going to pull out if I've back tacked. So I do tend to rip the thread off. Okay, now that's 120 inches. Now we're going to build the outside of the bag. Now we have 1,000,000 miles of strap. It's really, really pretty. I love this one. I love seeing how these flowers come out on there. So that's the strapping. This is what we're going to do with it. We're going to make, we're doing the opposite on this one. So I'm cutting 4-inch pieces that are going to be the loops. So I'll start from one end. It kind of seems like we have a lot of this, but we need 12 of these. That's 12. Okay, we'll put those aside. And then this, we'll feed them in through those after we make the loops. Now we will move on to putting our gauging where we're going to put these. So basically there's 8 inches in between each one, but I want this gap where the handle is, and you'll see what I mean later, to be 9 inches. So we're starting with a gap that is 9 inches. So that is 4.5. And so our first tabs will go at 4.5 inches from the fold. And I'm going to put them in between the 2 layers and about 1/2 inch inside between the 2 layers. That's where they will start. So then we go 8 inches from there and put another one in. That's another 8 inches. So what you could do is this. 8 inches. Now, I just got to this part, and this red one is cut a little proud over here on this side, and so I'm just going to trim that off. I'm going to make that a little more even so the 2 sides match. And it's one of those things, it's a big circle, and nobody will ever notice if you trim a little off. I do this on tablecloth sometimes if I cut around. As you know, this is how you can always cut yourself a tablecloth. And if you trim a little bit off and it's off on one side, it's never going to call anybody's attention to it. So you're fine. It's more important that the one fabric doesn't stick out the edge. Okay, like that. And then this one goes at 8 to I'm just folding these in half and putting them in between. Now it's going to work out. Now, what we're going to do next is the other side. And I'm going to flip this around because I think it's easier to come at it from here. And we will insert these in exactly the same spots. And we'll just use that to show us where these go. The top one, right? Now, if you don't have one of these yet to hold your clips, you might need to make one. It's the tubs. We have it as a kit, and we have it as a sewing pattern, and it's a 7-inch. Now we are making them 8 inches, 7.5 or 8 inches square with the corners cut out. I have the pattern here someplace. Anyway, I'll show you just a sec. So it's just a little X, and you sew up the sides, and you do the inside and the outside, and you sew them together. And now you have the best little clip holder that I've ever seen, or hair ties, or earrings, or what have you. What have you? Kitty treats, dog treats. I don't know. It's an organizer. This, however, is a fun summer picnic accessory. This I could see going to Shakespeare in the Park, or we have up at Volunteer Park here, There's often festivals in the summer, and you just take it with me with a few supplies. And it's great to sit on because, you know, sometimes it's damp, even in the summer here in Seattle. Huh, imagine that. And this keeps you dry. And it keeps your food off the ground. I just think it's a really cute project. Nope. I lost one. There. Now we have, that is 12 little tabs. How cute is that? Okay, now we're gonna sew that on. And this is gonna be, you stitch around the outside. Oh, I need my little catcher. Okay. See, I have them for all kinds of things. I have spent bobbins. I have threaded, wound bobbins. I have zipper pulls. I should have one. I need one for those because I like to put my name tag on things. So I'm just stitching all the way around the edge, close to the edge, about a 1/4 inch. No, less than that. Well, let's see. Is that a 1/4? Maybe it's a 1/4. Yeah. And then this is, when I get to these loops, I'm going back and forth a little bit, just enough to catch them and make sure that they don't pull out. It's not a, you know, I guess it is. It's a bag. So yeah, make sure they don't pull out. Go back and forth a bit. Okay. Okie dokie. Look at that. It is a beautiful thing. Is the excitement building? Now, what I would like you to know is that these little tabs, these small ones, are showing you where the handles are. Okay? And so we're going to start, where are we going to start? We're going to start right here. And I think what I will do is, this will be the end and the beginning of this strap. So I'm going to attach it. And then from here, we will go all the way around. Alrighty, so from here to there, to there, to there, to there, to there. Now that is pretty darn close to 120 inches, isn't it? Let's see. I'm gonna make sure that I like the way this is laying, because this is how it's gonna be when you're at the park. And now I will, let's see, chop this off and put it in here. And now I will sew this. So now that you've got this thing pinned around, you have to attach, you have to overlap and attach the straps somewhere. And I'm saying you do it on the left side, on the top. And so I overlap them inside of this loop, and then I stitch them down on both sides. And now this becomes a handle, and then on the other side of the 9-inch, you stitch it down again. So now you have an actual handle to pick up your bag. I put a little marker here. I'm going to sew that in, and that is going to show you that the handle is here. But in addition to that, I thought we needed a place on the side of this circle where you would know that this is the drawstring. where you pull the drawstring. So then you get your bag that goes like that. You know, basically it's a drawstring, but then you, in addition, you have these handles. So the concept is to mark these. And the way I'm going to mark these is by sewing this little tab where the handles go. And then I'm also going to put, because I have extra of this, I made a little too much. And I have an extra piece of this contrasting fabric on this handle, so I'm going to put that here. And I just wrapped it around, and then I'll sew it down. Okay, now that we have made this fabulous little picnic lily pad, reversible picnic lily pad, I'm going to show you how I might load it up. I would make a cobbler out of rhubarb because that's what I'm making these days. It's fresh out of my garden, and I can make it gluten-free. I always have a shirt and my bathing suit and a little towel with me because that's how I roll. If you know me, you know I always go in the water. So what the only part of this that I was worried about when I first figured out how to make it is you can pick it up here by these handles, and you can also cinch it up. You'll need to cinch it up to contain all this stuff. So that's why we put, where is it? These. That's why we put these colored tabs on the sides. So that side is where you pull it. And there you go. It's a beach bag. Ha! And so you can use it this way. You can carry it like this. You can put it crossbody. What I would do a lot of times, I think what I'll be using, how I'll be using it, is I'll tie these. And you can tie them in a bow, or you just put them like that. And then you've got these handles. And then since I'm short, I think I'll be using it like this. And I can just carry it this way. So I'm pretty excited about this project. And I hope that you have fun sewing it. And if you make one, when you make one, share it with us on our Facebook Insiders / Fabric Insiders group. Or send us a picture. We're on Instagram, we're on all the socials, and we'd love to see what you make. So have fun sewing.